best framework that I can use for coming up with things that people will reply to is give them something free that they would normally pay for. So rather than be like, I made this amazing thing, but if it's the same free, valuable thing that everyone else gives, then how good is it? You have to compete by being significantly better. But if you just do something that normally other people charge for, even on a micro level, and they can ascribe real value to that, people will respond to you. And then you're operating on you're in a way better frame, and then you can have a much better conversation.
The other thing was more like on a personal side. So if we could just sort of step back when you were sort of going through that, volatility of you had like success, then big failures and come back up, in terms of how you like structured your life, if you did at all, so that you put yourself in the best position to where like you're cutting certain people out, maybe you're bringing certain people or that might be even resources for skill development or whatever in. How do you go about doing that so that you're not doing things that don't really help you move forward and grow long-term big picture?
Yeah. So it's a really good question, because the number one way to change your behavior is to change your environment. So if you change the conditions, you'll behave differently, right? Like if there's a red light, you act differently than a green light. And so that's a micro example of how we act. Like in Baltimore, when I lived there, I act differently than when I moved, because I've had a clean slate. Like I didn't have to talk to old friends that would treat me a certain way that then I would respond to in the way that I didn't want to, right? And so first thing, from a people perspective, like I think a lot can be gained from literally just moving 30 minutes away. Like even if you, like I can't move out of, I'm not gonna move from Baltimore to California. Okay, that's fine. Just move to the other side of town. Just get out of the micro environment. The second thing that'll then lead to is the people that you will frequent will change, right? And I think that you'll have to get accustomed or be okay with the fact that you will lose a lot of friends. And that's not a bad thing. Because the thing is like, if all you have in common continues to shrink and shrink and shrink, and the only thing you have left to talk about is the past, remember the good old times? Remember that time we got so drunk at Rippy's? You know what I mean? Like whatever. Then like they're not trying to help you create the future that you were ultimately looking for. And it just, like, I will say that as I've gotten, further along in that path, my time to cutting people has just shrank. Because if I figure if I'm going to cut this person eventually, I might as well cut them now and start enjoying the benefits of not having them in my life and having all this back. And it's like all those times, if I have somebody who just keeps inviting me to shit and then making me feel guilty, or if I go out and they're like, why aren't you drinking? Or like, why aren't you, like, oh, he's on another diet, whatever. It's just like, you're not just asking the question, like, how do you think what you're saying is going to help me? And if there's like, well, I'm just giving you a hard time. It's like, yeah, understood. How is that going to help me? It's not. Okay. So like either change your behavior or I will change it for you, meaning I will just not have you in my life. The third piece is that I remember there's this video, I had just opened my 6th location, and I was